Cape Town Disaster Management says 14,000 informal structures have been damaged by flooding and wind in the Cape Metro. Areas affected include Khayelitsha, Lwandle, Gugulethu and Tafelsig. The South African Weather Service has issued a warning for severe weather conditions in Cape Town for tomorrow, while disaster risk management officials say that for the rest of the week, they'll monitor and assess flood and wind damage. The city is also appealing for donations to manage the situation and mitigate the impact. All right, joining us for more on this is Cape Town Mayor Geordin Hill-Lewis. Good afternoon, Mayor. Thank you very much for your time. We've seen the visuals of havoc caused by the storms, reports of more than 7,000 structures that have been affected. Several communities, we also understand, are without electricity. Just talk us through the extent of the damage.
Good afternoon. It's nice to be with you. Yes, the damage is extensive. We've got, as you said in your introduction, 14,000 structures, homes that have been damaged in some way. Some of that is minor damage and can be resolved very quickly. But many people are living in extremely tough conditions with knee-high water or calf-high water inside their homes. And we still have a lot of rain on the way. Tomorrow is in fact scheduled or forecast to be the worst day of the week so far, with a level 8 warning for very heavy rain. So we are focusing our efforts on making sure that the water can run away as quickly as possible. That's what our stormwater teams are doing, making preparations for that, preparing for rivers to burst their banks and for many of our canals in our canal system to burst their banks. And then, of course, in helping those residents who are facing flooding in their homes.
One assumes that response time has been hampered significantly now with all this difficulty that you speak of, particularly with the roads.
Indeed, we've had a lot of closed roads and flooded roads, and a lot of huge trees that have fallen across roads, which take many hours to cut into pieces and clear up, so that that slows traffic down tremendously. But we have had more than 300 teams out across the city dealing with issues, and they have been working probably close to 48 hours without rest. So I'm enormously grateful to them. They are getting a little bit of a breather now that it is not raining this afternoon ahead of tomorrow's deluge.
The severe weather conditions have naturally sparked conversation around the homeless and displaced. Yesterday, we actually spoke to one organization, U-Turn. They were full of praise for your efforts in the city of Cape Town to deal with the homeless issue. However, they said there's a great need for shelter right now because more people need refuge. So what are the stats, and how is the city helping, especially on the humanitarian relief side?
Where people are living in informal settlements, let's just deal with informal settlements first, and then I'll come to the homeless. Where there is very severe flooding, we are working with the National Department of Human Settlements. The National Department administers something called the Emergency Housing Grant, which kind of steps in at times like this to provide alternative shelter. But we are working closely with them. I've just finished a meeting with them where we are trying to move people to higher ground. In some limited cases, we are moving people to halls and providing alternative accommodation like that. We're also providing food and blankets and mattresses where we can, again, with limited resources. And there are a number of NGOs, one of them, the wonderful team at U-Turn, who are also doing the same. If we then move to the homeless, the city has, over the last couple of years, built many new what we call safe spaces. The biggest one we've built has actually just opened. So there is currently space in our safe spaces. Many homeless people don't like to go to shelters, but we really do encourage them to use them. And again, referring to excellent NGOs like U-Turn and the Haven Night Shelters and Streetscapes and Mess and others, they are also increasing their bed spaces during the winter, sometimes with the support of the city, to be able to provide for more space.
As we've heard, the worst is yet to come. What would be your message to residents for them to stay safe? What should they do or not do?
Well, I'm pleased that the Western Cape government has closed the schools for tomorrow across the area of the storm. I think that's going to help keep a lot of cars off the road. My request would be, if you don't need to travel, don't. Rather stay at home. If your house is susceptible to flooding, please take what precautions you can take now to expect very heavy rain tomorrow. And if you think that you will be flooded, please use this opportunity now to move to higher ground. And if there are any dangerous situations, particularly where rivers have burst their banks, do not go anywhere near those rivers. Don't try to cross fast-flowing rivers and streams, and report any emergency situations to the city's emergency call center. But please, this must be for emergencies only, and that is at 021 480 7700.
All right. Mayor, just in closing, you've also cautioned against the sharing of videos. Why is this?
Well, we've got lots of people sharing old videos from previous earlier flood events. Some of them are not even from Cape Town. Some of them are from KZN floods. And it's very difficult to tell. When you look at a video, you might not be able to know exactly where is this from, what is the date of it. And so people start to panic. We get calls about buildings washing away when no building has washed away here so far. That is a video from KZN a few years ago. So we've got to just be cautious of the sharing of false. It's not fake videos, but old videos or videos that don't relate to this area.